So first of all, guys, do you want to introduce yourselves, actually, to everyone here? Should we start? We'll start with you, Grahame, at the end.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Grahame Farmer. I run a website called Data Transmission. I'm a Twitch partner, and I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I create content on YouTube to help DJs and producers understand marketing. I run a course. I'm a Beatport ambassador. I do a lot.
Reju?
Hi, everyone. Oh, maybe I'll borrow your mic. No? Yeah, here you go. We can share, it's fine. Sharing is caring. I'm Reju, I work at Armada Music. I've been in the industry for a long time. I don't want to say how long, because I don't want to reveal how old I am. I do marketing and promotions. We have our main office headquarters is in Amsterdam, because we're a global, big, independent dance label, which has loads of other labels underneath our umbrella. And we launched the UK office about 3-4 years ago. So I do marketing and promotions for them. So I look after artists, their campaigns, work with management, work with like third-party agencies, work with a lot of people basically, but yeah, that's what I do.
Awesome. Max?
My name's Maxine, I'm a DJ and producer. I've released on Toolroom, Knee Deep in Sound. It's cutting out. Yeah. Hello? Sorry. Save Records, and yeah. I've been DJing for about 7 or 8 years now.
Wicked. Good stuff. Excellent. What a fantastic panel. So, right, let's start then. First question. There's a massive array of social media channels for new artists to think about, to actually control and utilise every day. Grahame, could you give us an overview of the key platforms right now and how they differ?
Yeah, sure. So I see it as the music platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. They're the visual ones. If you want to be a DJ, it's about putting visual representation of you on those platforms. The network platforms, LinkedIn, Discord, they're killing it now for meeting people and networking and hearing production. And like LinkedIn's killer for meeting and finding network contacts, finding label contacts. You literally can search labels and it'll bring up everyone. If you search Toolroom, you'll find everyone on Toolroom.
I think people disregard that LinkedIn a bit, don't they?
Yeah, it's such reach on there as well. Like, content goes mad because they're pushing it. But also, like I said, just trying to find label contacts. One of the things that we have on our course is I can't find the actual person that's there now. And you go on there and you search the label and you can guarantee, or the festival owner, you can guarantee you can find the marketing person, the booker. And if you use a little thing called Rocket Reach, it's a little plugin for Google Chrome, you can actually find their email address as well, which is really useful.
Nice little tip.
Yeah, so then and then also live. Like, obviously I'm on Twitch Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and it's a great place for you to DJ. So many people they say they want gigs. Well, you can have one every day. Like, there's so many people making revenue and making money from their gig themselves on that platform, DJing every day, and it's just a mad place at the moment for DJs. The takedowns don't happen when you're streaming. It comes off when the VOD goes on. But yeah, it's a great place to build as a DJ.
Have you seen that grow quite fast in the last 6 months?
It's crazy. Like, there's people, because you get, how it works with Twitch, once you're an affiliate, you can have subs and you can have bits, and they are basically people giving you money, tips and payments, basically. So one person can sub you once, but they can also sub you 10 in a row, and 10 subs is 25 quid. And you go on there, and there's DJs playing, and someone will come in and go, here's 50 subs. That's 150 quid just for literally playing records. They're building mad audiences and mad communities on there. And people that keep coming back to streams. We see it every time. There's a core people that come back to the stream. Hey gang, if you're here, see some of you. And then also, because you're creating that piece of content, you're creating a 2-hour piece of video of you DJing, you're creating a 2-hour piece of your audio of you DJing. That's content for your other platforms, that's content for your Instagram, that's content for your YouTube channel, that's content for your SoundCloud. You're literally making content for all your channels in one hit. So it's essentially saving you time.
And really good to utilise if you haven't actually got that many gigs yet as well.
Exactly. So yeah, the one complaint that want gigs, well, go and build an audience, because that's how you're going to get gigs. People buying tickets and bums on seats. And if you've not got an audience, then you need to build it by being visual. You need to remind people on Instagram by posting DJ videos every single day that you're a DJ. Hey, I'm a DJ. Here's a video of me playing 2 records. Here's another video of me playing records. That's how you're going to get gigs. It's build an audience.
So a really big platform that you really, really rate then. Twitch,
Yeah. Like I said, it's that long form content. You make the big piece of content, and then you spend a few hours cutting 10 pieces out for Instagram. Put the long video on YouTube because then it sends people back to your Twitch channel. Take the audio off and put that on SoundCloud. Yeah. Like I said, you've made content for all your platforms in one go.
Amazing. So Maxine, as an artist, is there like one particular platform that you focus on? You get most engagement? Is there one particular platform that you think new artists could really utilise?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on most of the platforms, but Instagram, I'd say, is like my kind of main one at the moment. Yeah, but when I started DJing, Instagram was around, but it wasn't really like as big as it is now. I was more on Facebook, and then when Instagram came, it was like a good opportunity to, really soak up like a new platform to, use to market yourself. So I think as an artist, you've got to look at it as like a tool to help yourself and enhance yourself. But also there's a lot of new features on Instagram that have come, especially over like the last few years. I remember when Instagram started, it didn't have like videos, it didn't have like reels, so like more recently there's now reels, which is really cool. I find with reels you get a lot more reach on reels compared to like a normal video, so that's something that I've started to do a lot more now. And I think as well, like social media is always going to be changing, so as an artist you've got to think like always be prepared to sort of evolve and move with what's new. There might be someone working on a new platform that comes out in a few years, and that's the new Instagram. So yeah, I just think you've always got to evolve with it, and just see it as a tool to help you. It's there. Some people think, social media, it's taking up too much time, and I just want to focus on music production, and that side of it is taken away from the craft, which is the DJing and the production. But just see it as this is going to enhance me as an artist, and it markets you. You get your promoters are going to discover you, and labels and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd say Instagram's kind of like my go-to at the moment. TikTok is also really good. I know a lot of artists are on there. I've just started to do more on TikTok, but I find it's really good. It's similar to Reels, so like the reach is a lot higher, which is cool. But yeah, Twitch I'm actually not on, as I need to look into Twitch more. So Grahame, I'll be asking you some bits on that.
Let's do it. I agree with you with Reels though. Like, it's just the extension of your art. Like, think of it as that. Think of it as how you're going to extend the reach. Social media is a big wide mouth, and it's going to shout in the right directions for you if you think about it properly. Plan it, plan your art, plan what you're going to put out there, and don't just kind of just take a photo and hope it's going to go do something. Like, plan your strategy.
Okay, cool. You mentioned TikTok actually. Reju, Armada has a huge following on TikTok. How important do you see that platform for you guys, like now, the folk?
I'll finish your sentence for 2022. Yeah, I mean, it's very important. Before I answer that question, I just want to touch on some of the things that my peers here have just mentioned. I think when you're looking at social media channels, and by the way, we probably should be getting paid for endorsing all of these social media channels right now, but really you want to find out where your community is and build your community. And I think the pressure that artists have is needing to be available on every single social media channel and platform, and then not having the understanding of the community, not really understanding like how engagement happens and how to reach engagement. And a lot of people always think it's about views. I come from the idea that kind of leaning towards that, yes, views are important, but engagement is the most important, because as a new artist, you really want to create I call it a fan base, so like a family base rather than a fan base, because fans can be bought, fans can also, change their minds and move away and not follow you. What you always want to try and do is create a family. So I think social media channels are important when you have a community that grows with you, and that is your fan base, FAM. So, thanks. With Armada and a TikTok, originally, obviously, when TikTok started to blow up, everyone was like, what the are we going to do on TikTok? Now are we gonna make every single DJ start doing dances and like, you know, echoing and playing like audio files? So we were like, okay, let's just look at the platform and let's look at the trends and just see what other people are doing and what people are actually interested in. And the thing is about TikTok is ultimately, it's not a social media platform, it's an entertainment platform. And when you think about it in that way, that you're creating entertainment and engaging content, it means that you can think about the things that you put up there in a much more authentic, organic way. We also managed to grow our platform because we looked at the certain content that we put up that was doing generally quite well, was quite clever with like hashtags, quite clever with like stitching and duets, and then also the ones that had got like more views, boosting those posts by putting some spend behind it, and then seeing how that then travels. The other thing to understand about TikTok as well is it's not like Snapchat or let's say like Instagram. You can scroll for days and then a post that you put up 3 months ago, is anybody really going to look at it? Is anybody going to look past like 16 squares or your 24-hour story if they've missed it, or look at your highlights? The thing about TikTok is you could have made a video, piece of content 2 months ago, a month ago, 3 months ago, and as it starts building and the way the algorithm works, it will connect to other content creators that are making that kind of content, and that hashtag will like grow. So ultimately, you could have just made a piece of content from your summer last year DJing out, and it might be big this summer just because your track has developed, that sound has developed, so that another artists are like building on it, other people are copying your style. So I think that's what's important. So I think building any platform is a labor of love, and you kind of need to put that in. But I think the best way, I'm going to answer loads of questions in one answer, by the way, sorry, just because I'm like, it's in my head.
That's good, it's all knowledgeable stuff.
Yeah, but I think the thing is with that is think about your content and make it authentic. Make it about you and make it about your life, because really that's what people want to see. They want to get to know you, and that's the main thing.
Does upload intensity matter? Does upload intensity matter?
I would say, it's a hard one. Depends. If you've got a release out, say for example, and you want people to know about it, I would say in that month, those 4 weeks, really have a strategy and a plan of like what you're going to put out when. And yeah, be a bit more intense than you would be for like the rest of the year or like whatever you're talking about. It depends on like the message that you want to put out there at that time.
I'm thinking if you're starting right now, right at the start of the boat, you've got no followers, do you need to go heavy, like 2 uploads, 3 uploads a day, because you're kind of training the algorithm to what you're about, what you're posting, what it needs to learn about you, and then as you're building that audience, then you can kind of tailor it down to more specific, more content?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I would say at the beginning, whenever we're working with, so a good example would be Deval is one of our artists that we signed and we work with, and he's 1/3 of Disciples and has his solo project out. And he didn't have a TikTok follow. I mean, he wasn't even on TikTok. So what I said to him was like, repurpose the content that you've already put on Reels, for example, or like on your other platforms. And then on top of that, put some content about you. And really, how far are you really going to scroll back? Right, so the intensity of like how many posts you're going to put up for people to get to know you is like maybe like 9, 16, maybe 18, I would say. Think about how much people are going to scroll back and how much they're going to learn in that time. Really, as a new artist starting out, you want people to get to know you. Yeah. You know, you don't want to just keep being on the sell. So content needs to be authentic, organic. People need to find out about you. They need to find out. Also, take time to learn about the platform. What stuff on there is engaging, what do people like to see, what do people want to see, and emulate that, is what I would say.
Do you do multi-part Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
Do you do multi-part? Like I've seen on TikTok, there's people that do like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and then link, because basically you're linking 6 together. Is that something you do? Does that work for you?
So my approach to marketing and approach to everything is being a storyteller, and I feel like I used to work in radio for years, for like 15 years in specialist music, and it's all about telling stories. That's the only reason that we need to be using these social media platforms. And I think when you do, I personally have started when following people on social media, new people that I haven't followed before, especially on TikTok, when they do those part 1, 2, 3, and 4, because to be honest, we all like episodes. We're in a culture that watches Netflix series and you binge watch everything, and you know, we're into soap dramas and whatever. Think about culturally how people consume content, and doing a part 1 to part 6 or a part 1 to part 2 makes you then find that content, and then you find other content from the same artist. So yeah, good question, and yes, 100%.
Yeah, because that leads me on to content and just how important that area is, because creating content is quite a challenge, and for new artists that might not have lots of gigs, and when you're following big artists and you see them just constantly posting that, you know, travelling, amazing stories of these gigs, what other sort of things can new artists think about for content? What sort of things can they drum up to post and get good engagement? Like Maxine said, Reels kill it. So DJing on Reels, if you don't know an artist called Amy L, go and watch her. She did it in lockdown. She posted herself DJing every day, solidly, 2 tracks, in and out. They're amazing, 4-deck mixing, but solidly every day. And that basically extended her, built her pages, and is now getting her gigs. And it's easy content. You're literally DJing. You're just reminding people of my DJ. Like I said earlier, the other things I really love is if you make a Beatport chart, turn it into an Instagram chart. There's an app called Clipper. It's spelled with a K, K-L-L-P-I-P-R. Or find me later and I'll tell you. And basically, you can turn your Beatport links into video files. So turn that into, you've got 10 already there, so turn that into an Instagram chart. Something that might be seen as a bit stale, just give it a bit of life, something a bit more creative.
You're just taking it from one platform to another. You've already made it over there, so to repurpose it on the other platform. And these are the tracks that I like playing. These are the tracks, if you come and saw me play, you would hear. You're building that audience, like you say, you're building that family of, this is what you're going to hear when you hear me play. This is the music I'm into. Again, you could then turn that into, these are the tracks that inspire, like another one inspired me, right? So go and find 10 tracks that inspired you, do exactly the same. That's another piece of content. You know, update a Spotify playlist every Friday, post a picture. You see so many artists do it now. Friday, here's my new Spotify playlist. It's got these artists.
I just want to add something to that as well. So in terms of, like, as artists, supporting platforms as well. So just like the idea we said about Beatport, tagging Beatport in like some new content that you created and some innovative style that you've done it in, is a way of getting these platforms to recognize you as well. And as they recognize you and get to know you, I'm sure they're going to unlock some kind of features and some kind of benefit for you to be on their platform and encourage you, because their main purpose is also to retain and expand and amplify people who are using their platforms. So how do you then promote them on other platforms? So I think that's also a good tactic to have as well.
Yeah, nice. Max, for you, what were there particular things that you can remember you'd try and post before your kind of career started taking off a bit?
Yeah, it was difficult, and it can be frustrating when there's no gigs, because, you know, you're thinking, what content can I post? But I just remember at that point I was kind of really just focusing on production and going out to get the gigs. And I think I was just kind of patient, working away kind of behind the scenes, just focusing on my production. And then when I got a gig, then that was obviously a great opportunity to then post about the gig, or you know, it might have been the flyer, or after the gig there might have been some cool DJ shots after that. So I think, you know, if you're in a position where you haven't got as much content, just don't also get too bogged down with that. Just think to yourself, like, I just need to get my head down in the studio, do what I love, and network, go to the events that you love, and then the gigs will come, and the you know, the sign-ins and that will come. So yeah, I think for me, I think now it's a lot easier though, because like Grahame said, you've got like reels, you can do stuff from home, like you can be mixing, showing off your DJ skills, so that's like really, really good. But yeah, when I started DJing, I remember like the Instagram was just photos, and there wasn't even videos, so it was quite limited. And then also I had Facebook, but yeah, I don't remember posting much on Facebook. So I think now the position we're all in is a lot better than like even like 5 years ago. You know, there's TikTok, and like you can reach people from all over the world, and that's the best thing. So just make the most of that, really.
Sorry, I'm just going to add something to that. Think about your social media platforms. So if you're going to be on every single one, think about it in terms of your day. So when would you use that platform specifically? So if you've made a nice lunch, let's say, or you've got a sick outfit on, or you just saw a nice tree, and you thought, actually, that's a nice picture that somebody's going to like look at. Post that on Instagram. That's really what Instagram is for. It's to look pretty, right, and to look good and engage people. Reels, TikTok, that's to have more like authentic content. That's like behind the scenes content, right? So what are you doing daily? So that could be, actually cooking, taking the dog for a walk, getting on the tube, doing your journey, getting your records ready, all of that, giving people information. That's your conversation. And then, Friday, Saturday nights, you want to be DJing. So that's where you would use something like Twitch or maybe like YouTube. So you can use all of those social media platforms, but I would like break it down into like what part of your personality or artist journey sits on that platform at what point in the week. That way it's going to be easier for you to like schedule it, break it down and think about it so it's not overwhelming.
Because you were talking there about even things that, like getting ready, walking the dog, doing that. Because do you think that's what people really want to see? They want to get to know you as a person, and really want to know your character, rather than... I think some people worry and think, well, I haven't got anything to say if I haven't got a gig or I haven't made a new track. More everyday things, can they post things like that to actually show who they are as a person?
To answer your question with a question is always think like, what makes you want to follow somebody? Like, why do you follow the people that you follow? And what do you get out of it? Most of the time, it is really like, you want to make friends, you want to get to know people, and you want to like see what their lives are like and how their journey compares to you. Think about it in terms of like how you were when you were at school and how you were making friends and how you navigated life generally. And I think that's it. Like people want to see who you are, because in effect that like gets them into your mindset of why you decide to be creative. Like, what is your creative process, and then what has led from you get up in the morning to then making that track, to then convincing a label to release it, to then putting it out, to then getting a whole other audience interested in what you're doing, and then building it up. People want to just get to know you.
So don't be afraid of not, I haven't got any real polished content. Sometimes it's okay to post things that might be going wrong for you in the day, just general things as well.
Real life, babe. I mean, the thing is, how long has Big Brother was Big Brother on air? It was like the whole of like the last 20 years has been about reality TV. So if you're not going to give people reality, then you're just manufactured, right?
I also want to add to that just that I feel like when, say you're a new artist, do you feel like you should be more specific in like putting out sort of music related stuff to begin with, and then broadening it out like as you sort of grow as an artist? Because if a new fan comes to your page, they kind of want to see straight away like what you're about, and they want to know like you are a DJ or a producer or whatever. So I feel like you want to be really candid with it and show your lifestyle as well. But then I think also when you're a new artist, to keep it quite specific to the music, and then as you're building, then maybe dive into more like, it might be like your food or gym and things like that. Because I think you want to keep your audience quite specific, and
I agree, yeah.
They're there for the music, basically.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the thing is, it goes down back to what I was saying before. What story do you want to tell? What story do you want your, fan base to know about you. If your focus is, this is how I got into music, this is the music that I'm playing, this is what I want to engage with, then that's cool. And that's totally right. But then also be prepared that like sometimes that content works on certain platforms and pick a certain platform for that content specifically.
Yeah, or a part of a platform, like your feed might be one sort of content, your stories might be another part of content, like you say, you think about where they're going to land. If they're landing on your feed, then yeah, it's DJs and it's production and it's releases and it's music, but your stories might be something else because it's come and go. Like,
do you think artists that are out there that are doing well on social media, that's kind of how it works for them? Different avenues kind of facilitate different areas?
Yeah, they're just those ones that are doing it well. Obviously, there's different parts of the platform for different things. Like I say, for like pictures and videos, they're your core fans now. Reels is new audience because the algorithm is pushing it to so many new people. So you think about that piece of content as like, I'm attracting new people with that piece of content. So think about what I'm going to put there. Think about if I'm putting a picture or a video, right? That's for my key fans because they already know me because the algorithm's changed a bit. Stories, that's even more of me, you know. So the ones that really do nail it are the ones that are using the platform, the best parts of the platform at the right time.
What artists for you do you think are nailing it, that you guys all follow? Who would you say of a big artist out there really nails their social media?
So I feel like there's a lot of techno artists that I really like how they do social media. So for example, like Charlotte DeWitt, I feel like she nails social media because she's got a good balance of like DJ content. It might be like a video of her gig, and then she'll mix it up with like lifestyle stuff, and then also like it might be like a press shot or, you know, more personal stuff. And also because she's got such a big following, she posts quite regularly. So I don't know, there's kind of different people post differently. Some people post like less often and that works for them, but then some people might post like twice a day, especially if you've got like a bigger audience. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like techno artists that I really like. But yeah, when I started DJing as well, something that really helped me was I'd go on to like a page that I really looked up to, and then you can save posts and use them to create your own content, and you know you can recreate that post in your own way. So that's what is good about Instagram. You just save stuff, so it's cool.
Yeah, I try and break down what people are doing. Like, how long are they posting videos? How long are they writing captions? Like, look at what they're actually doing. Like, because people out here are in different genres, and if there might be people they follow in those genres, but it might be different little nuances for even within the platform. So look at what they're doing. Like, really look at, like, all their pictures really bright? Is their videos all really 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds? Like, really look at what people are doing, and then you can it'll give you a kind of good example of how to build and how they're building, and then that'll kind of give you more ideas of how to grow yourself.
What do you think are the most common mistakes that new artists do on social media?
I think like things to think about, you've got to kind of think a bit like a photographer in a way, put yourself in their eyes, like what they be looking at, like a good lighting, good angles, good, you know, everything's got to kind of be quite eye-catching when you land on the page. So I suppose going opposite to that, if you look at what mistakes they're making, it might be like a photo that's really bad lighting, or, you know, it's poor quality or blurry or something like that. It could be just small things like that would really help. If you really work on focusing on that, then it will really enhance your content.
Yeah, this is funny, this question. I've just written a YouTube video, it's coming out in a couple of weeks, on this question, so I kind of had a load. So the big ones are always, like, not showing your face. Like, it's a social media platform, and they're built around people, and people like seeing people, so show your face. That's the big one for me. Captions. Instagram's now built around SEO, so which means that you can search the caption, so put more in the caption. What's the other one I had that's really good? Oh yeah, and the other one was just micro content. So like literally, like I was saying earlier, take big content, turn it into small content, and just use that to build yourself.
Oh, you said it. Yeah, I was going to cover those things as well. Yeah, I will add one, which is do your research on the social platform. Like, I think it's you know, and I think TikTok is a really good example of that. Like, everyone, artists are like, oh God, do I really have to have a TikTok strategy? And it's like, well, yeah, if you want to reach a lot of people and you want to have a global audience and, you know, you want to really amplify yourself. And maybe because I've worked in marketing for so long, I'm like, yeah, strategy is easy. But it's because I spend time on those platforms and I get to understand the content and I get to see, you know, at what level of quality it's done at. And ultimately, remember, you know, we are not all social media managers. That is not our job. You're artists, you're creatives, you're producers, you're DJs. You know, like disclosures channels, like across all platforms, they probably do have a social media manager. They probably do have somebody at the label that helps them. But their content is great because they look at filters, they look at stories, they look at features. They're involved in all of that and they show their face and they're all part of that and they share the story. So I think it's about getting to know your platform, getting to know your fans, putting out certain content that fits for that and doing your research on it.
They definitely run their Discord because they're in there all day making tracks. So if you want to hit them ever, go and sit in their Discord because it's a great place to meet them.
Nice tip, nice tip. You mentioned social media managers. Now for new artists, is that something they should consider, like actually investing in some money into marketing on social media?
Well, I mean, if you feel like you're not confident enough in creating your own content. And also, you know, we've had COVID for 2 years. There's not much money flying around. You know, you might not have like the best phone, you might not have the best lighting or whatever. If you can work with somebody who can do your content with you and film it for you, that's always going to be an advantage. And, you know, like Grahame was saying earlier, there are platforms that you can make money out of. So like, you know, you could potentially do a deal with somebody where, you know, a part of the earnings that you get from that platform is shared with the person who is helping you create that content. So it's beneficial for them as well, and you're both growing in your journey. So I think that is really important. And to be honest, there are so many tutorials online that, like, you don't necessarily need a social media manager. And the other reason that I would say that as well is, in 3 months' time, everything that we're saying here right now on this panel, or in 6 months' time, is going to change. Because the platforms are going to change, the features are going to change, the trends are going to change. The trends are changing right now while we're sitting here, you know what I mean? So what we're saying right now may not be relevant in 3 to 6 months' time, but somebody somewhere on YouTube will put up a tutorial and tell you what to do. And that will probably be the best way.
That'll probably be me.
Well, that's you, Grahame, yeah. Go and follow him.
Okay, so many of the attendees here have actually achieved label signings, had music released. Quite a big question, but what do you think makes a successful single campaign on social media?
You go, man, that's you.
What makes a successful single campaign? I think it's a lot of the things I've covered already. First, always, what's the story? How are you going to generate a story? How are you going to generate a story for like the next 6 weeks and keep people engaged? Definitely the next 3 weeks. And again, if it's just social media specific, what stories do you want to tell and how do you want that content to be able to tell that story? So pictures of you, videos of you, repurposing content that you've already done, you know, meeting your fams and like what they're like and being out. Live content and live footage works really well of your track, you know, getting reaction. And you know what? Maybe you're not out there DJing it in a club, or maybe some other big DJ isn't DJing it and there's a big audience to like capture that. Mate, like get content of you playing it to your friends. Like that's the best really. Like don't you want to see what your friends' reactions are like, because that's going to be the honest one, right? And I think we, you know, again, we have some artists that I work with and their content is quite authentic in that way, that like they'll play something and the reaction that they get, they'll either be shocked, happy, surprised, but they'll always use that piece of content because it's real, you know. So I would say that. I don't know if that's really answered your question, but I kind of feel like some of the answers I've said before kind of fit into that.
Yeah, definitely, because I think that's the big thing, isn't it? When someone's got a record out and they think, well, I haven't got any gigs to play it, but I've got a record out. So-and-so's not playing it yet. What can I do? I think that's what a lot of people stumble at and suddenly think, I can't post. There's nothing I can post that's engaging. And I think you're right. Even having some fun with some friends and playing that track.
I think it's about reactions, just get yourself like a player and take it out somewhere and have it on loud and see what reactions you get, like when people walking past you in the park, and then you're talking to them. A, you're growing your audience and you're meeting real people. B, you'll have some content and it'll be entertaining, and take those reactions and post those reactions. You can even post them as quotes. You don't have to show people's faces.
Yeah, I was going to say, permission forms and all that. Okay, so what would be, I know you've covered so much of it, but like what would be your one top tip? The one thing you're saying, right, okay, if you're thinking about social media, what's the one thing, the key thing that you think is the most important to focus on?
I think just going back to like the management stuff, like you could just set aside every week like X amount of time just to plan your content for that week or that next 2 weeks. That's going to really help you. Just be consistent with the social media, because sometimes when you're in a studio and you're going out gigging, you might put the social media stuff to the side. So just set aside, even if it's 1 day a week, just plan out all the content that you're going to be posting and just do a little brainstorm, think about like what things you've got coming up, and whilst you're doing that you'll think of loads of different ideas that will come to you. So yeah, I'd say top tip would just be to set aside time to plan your content.
I think mine would be healthy with it, be emotionally and mentally healthy with it, because social media is taxing. Also, don't obsess with comments and everything. I would say be healthy with it. If you feel like you need to take a break from social media, like I was saying before, how far are people really going to scroll back? Are there things that you can put in your highlights that people might go back to? There's another artist that I think is amazing who's openly talked about having ADHD and like struggling with social media, but when they have a release out of something they want to promote, they literally just there's nothing on their like Instagram channel, and then there's like 9 posts and one goes up every couple of hours, so you follow them for the day. And I think that's really clever, because you get a story in a 9 block, and you can then, like Grahame said as well already, like use the story option or the reels option or another platform to show some other engaging content. But people come back to it because it's FOMO, right? If you don't see it there and then and you're not following that person, you're not going to see it. But if it's there all the time and you're constantly posting all the time, then if they miss a day, they miss a day, and does it really matter? So I think thinking about being healthy for you, how much you can actually do. You don't necessarily need to be a social media manager, but yeah, keep it healthy for you and do what you can and think is best.
Mine's an easy one. It's be social on there. It's a social media platform. Loads of the people I speak to, it's post, leave, go away. Like, get in there. Like, there's loads of you in here. Go and support each other. Go and comment on each other. Like, be social with each other. Like, this is how you're going to build a network, and that's literally the whole point, isn't it? Like, so be social.
We might have actually a bit of time for a question. Has anyone got any questions they'd like to ask the panel? Don't be shy.
If we haven't, Pete, I've got a really good hack.
Yeah, go on, go for it.
I've got right, okay, this is ultimate hack. It's the best one I've ever been taught. Right, get your phones out. Like, we'll do it right now. This is epic. It's the best one I've ever been taught. Right, go to Instagram. Go and search my page, Grahame Farmer. Wait. It's even better than this. So it's actually going to level your numbers up in 2 ways. Right, when you get there, I want you to pull down twice. Then click follow. And then pull down twice again. And you should see my followers go up by about 160. The second one of that, though, there is a second one. Basically, Instagram just rolled out a new part of the platform called Favorites. On that follow button now, there's a Favorites section. And go on favourite people that you want to work with. Like, if you want to get signed to certain labels, go and favourite 50, like you can have 50, so go and favourite 50 labels that you want to be involved with. and then basically you'll have a feed of just their content. So then you can go and interact with that content. If you're thinking about, right, my music might be right for that content, you'll be seeing all their content because it's in your favourites. Okay. And then you'll understand what that label's about. You'll understand what it's putting out, and then that'll help you.
By the way, anyone who followed Grahame, he's going to follow you back as well, right? He's making that promise right here, right now. So who had a quick question? Anyone have a quick question to go? You might have to shout a little bit. Go for it.
Do you want me?
Did you catch
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it's about paid promotion. Firstly, there's two parts of the platform. Reels, the reach is ridiculous. One of the people in my course has 100 followers. He put a video up 2 days ago. It's had 3,000 views. So the ultimate reach is mad if you get the content right. Secondly, paid promotion, definitely. I see every DJ as essentially a business. Like, this is your career and this is your DJ career. So any business markets themselves, and every business should market themselves, because then you're going to get more out of it. So, but that marketing budget might be £1 a month if that's all you can afford. It might be £10 a month and it's building your Spotify playlist. It might be, but yes, you should invest in yourself. You know, you should do a course like Toolrooms and invest in learn more production. You know, yes, you should invest in everything.
Nice. Anyone else? What, time for one more?
And obviously with Facebook not allowing streaming and that now, how wide would they, like, say, if I was to just say put a reel up, or a couple of reels in a mix of like say a couple of transitions, and then like say like read from that to like say to give the full mix to go to my mix, like put the link to it. How wide reaching would that be?
Again, I guess, yeah. When you're DJing on Reels, you have to be consistent with it. But yes, so you're struggling with live. If you're struggling with live streaming, just flick the camera on and record the whole thing, so you don't live stream it, and then upload it to YouTube. Secondly, yes, definitely do that. When you're doing videos like that, make sure the call to action is on the screen because people will see it. Also, if you're doing call to actions in your caption, there's 15 lines. Make sure it's in that first 15 lines. Because otherwise people won't read it. So yes, definitely go on, but make sure it's one call to action. Go and see my mix, go and listen to the full mix, go to my link in bio and do that, or follow me, or what I use all the time is comment and I'll DM you the link. Because then, firstly, the comments are going to open up the engagement, which is going to show it to more people. Secondly, you're going to comment back saying, all right, I've DM'd you. Then you're going to DM them, so then you're starting to talk to them in messages, so that's going to give you more reach. Then you're going to actually give them a link, so they can actually go and listen to it on the platform without them having to do anything more. You're helping them, and it's essentially creating conversation.
Amazing stuff, really, really good. So I think we're going to wrap that one up now, guys, but can we have a round of applause for our attendees?
Thank you.
Really, really insightful content, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Absolutely fantastic. I'm nicking that hack as well to get those follows next time. That was amazing. Unbelievable. You have got to follow everyone back on that.